are live. I am solo today, so we are going to cover everything Chicago sports as of May 12th, 2025. I'm going to go in reverse order on my notes, which is pretty normal for me. It's how I operate. I never go in order. I want to start off with the Chicago Bulls. Today is draft lottery day. As of the moment I'm recording right now at a 5:40 p.m., the Chicago Bulls are projected to have the number 12 pick in the NBA draft. All right, 1% chance, just slightly over 1% chance to go out and to get Cooper Flag. Ain't happening. I doubt the way that our luck runs in Chicago. I doubt we end up in the top 10. It would be nice if we did. I would love it if we could get a top five pick. But if not, you're hoping for a Matas Buzelis kind of player to drop to you later in the draft. Speaking of Matas, terrific growth, especially as we started to watch him play in the second half of the season. We need more of that as Bulls fans, right? He did the opposite of what Patrick Williams did in Patrick Williams' first season, right? Patrick Williams, the hype was there, man. And when I look at the kid, the the athleticism is there, right? He just, man, it ain't clicking here. The dude got his contract, and the dude ain't playing. So when I look at this team next year, Bulls got to find a way to get him off the team, right? And I know you're gonna be eating contract, and you're gonna be looking for a dude to fill that gap, but Patrick Williams isn't him, and he was supposed to be him. But when I look at this team and I look at, the future, he ain't a part of it, which is unfortunate. I like the continuation with Lonzo. That was a good veteran commitment, I think. When the guy's healthy, man, the defense is there and the offensive IQ is there. I don't think he's ever going to be what he was before the injuries. I think he's too timid. But maybe, who knows? Who knows? With Kobe White emerging and becoming, that legit number one, Lonzo's a great number two to have come off the bench and do what he's got to do. Right there with Josh Giddey, right? Josh Giddey had just brilliant flashes of talent, just so inconsistent. But he's a nice swing guard, right? That you can put at the small. Just saying, uh, that's exciting. We'll see if that Caruso trade for Giddey plays out in the future. We don't know right now, but maybe, hopefully, in the future, it will. Javon Carter, he gone. Jalen Smith, he gonna be gone. I think the Bulls are gonna try to move on from Nikola. Right, I love Vooch, but man, it just that Wendell Carter trade, it's just not looking good. I understood the veteran presence. I understood why they did it, but it's just not. It's not played out how we wanted. And then, they brought in Zach Collins, and Zach Collins was a beast when he was given minutes. He played extremely well. Kind of the same way, like you gave Julian Phillips time. He played extremely well. Dalen Terry had flashes of brilliance, right? Kevin Herter, flashes of brilliance. Those are the types of dudes that you need to come off the bench. So I really hope Herter sticks around. I hope Zach Collins sticks around. I think you could package something like Io and Nicola and bring in another center. It's totally capable of doing such things. And we'll see as we go forward what the team has in store. But I we got to build around Matas. Matas needs to take that next step. Zach Collins, I think, needs to be around as a depth piece. And Kobe White needs to continue his ascent. I think that's first and foremost what has to happen. We need a center. We need a true power forward, and we need a power forward that can play some gosh dang defense. Right? Just it doesn't seem Like anybody wants to play defense on this team. And I don't know if that's a Billy Donovan problem or if that is just, the roster makeup. But unless it's, Lonzo Ball or Patrick Williams, I will give Patrick Williams that. When he's on D, the dude can play some D. But we need a power forward that can play some D, shut down, those bigs in the East. The East, not quite as bad as the West, but man, there's some serious dudes that you got to shut down. And I'm gonna stomp the brakes right now on anybody out there that's like Giannis Antetokounmpo. He ain't coming. The Bulls do not have the players that they can move to the Bucks if the Bucks are truly and honestly looking to move Giannis. And if I were the Bucks, I'd be doing everything I could to mend that relationship. I know this whole Giannis thing goes back years, right? Before Giannis signed that contract, he's like, eventually he's gonna be a Bull, and he's mentioned it. Well, he ain't gonna be a Bull. It ain't happening. I hope I'm wrong. It ain't happening. He ain't coming to Chicago. Get over it. We need to figure out something in free agency and the draft. All right. The front office has to get creative in what we can package and move some pieces around while keeping Matas, keeping Giddy, keeping Kobe, keeping Herter, keeping Collins. I think that's a nice core, right? Especially with what you can bring in off the bench. And for the love of all that's holy, Reinsdorf, if you ever listen to this, sell the team. And sell the White Sox too, please. Right? Let Ish take the White Sox. But please, man, it's been too long. You had your run in the 90s. It was amazing to watch. Blow it up. Go away. It's time, my dude. Go retire on a beach in Florida. Right? So hopefully, the draft lottery here starts in like 15 minutes. I'll be patiently watching that while I have the Cubs game going on as they take on the Fish. Um, Speaking of the Cubs, let's just hop right into that, man. God, it's been a rough stretch, right? Two series lost in a row. You're down, Justin Steele, your ace for the year, and I love Justin Steele. I don't think he's an ace. I would not put him in the same category as a Tariq Skubal, a Paul Skeens, and I know Paul Skeens 1 year, but man, that dude's legit. Justin is a really nice player. I think he's like a 1B. Right, same thing. If I had to pick a true ace for this team, it'd be Shota Imanaga. Like I think he has better stuff. He plays better than Justin Steele. Justin Steele's just been around forever, and this is what his second arm injury. So hopefully, we get him back next year. I love the dude, but we need more. And you're down Shota, you're down Steele. Jamison Tyone can still get, clipped for 6 or 7 in a game. Colin Ray has been lights out, but I think we started to see some of that crack a little bit, right? You bring up Cade Horton. He's wearing that number 22. He's got that shades of Mark Pryor going on. Dude had an electric fastball against the Mets, and he had just a wicked breaking ball. That thing had some nice depth to it. So I hope that we get to see Cade Horton blossom here. I'd give him the ball. And I understand the whole let's give Brad Keller the opener thing. I was against it. It played out well. I'm happy. Horton gave us 4. He gave up the 3-run bomb ski, which happens to every rookie pitcher. But he was electric. He pitched great. Keep giving the ball to him. I want to see him actually start a game. That would be my goal. I want to see that dude start a game and be the man for 5-6 innings. It's going to take time. I know we're only one start in, but these are the games now where we got to start picking up. The schedule's going to get easier, right? We've got to start pulling away a little bit at this time. Now's the time. Let's talk a little bit of PCA. I'm not a PCA hater. I wasn't a PCA hater. Last year, I saw a lot of issues with the swing. I saw a lot of Javi Baez in that swing. I still see some of that hobby bias in the swing, but I see a lot that he's corrected as well, right? He's more aggressive early in the count, and when he doesn't get that pitch early in the count, he's patient. He waits. So all of that, great to see. I think swinging the heavier bat is actually slowing him down a smidge, and it's helping. We can see the power, right? He's double digits. He's got 10. He leads the team or second on the team, right? With like Seiya, who's also finally starting to hit unless runners are in scoring position. Then it's like, I forgot how to hit, right? Hey, PCA. I know they lowballed him. You want to sign PCA? It's going to take 10 years, 180 plus, right? You're going to have to do 10 years. You're going to have to do 180. You're going to have to do some fancy stuff. You're going to have to incentivize it. Do it. Sign the guy. You go, we go, right? He's got a lot of that Dexter Fowler in him. You go, we go. I want to see that. PCA is going to win gold gloves out in center. Okay. He has the ability to be a 20 home run, 50, 60 stolen base guy with 80 RBI. The rate he's going this year, he's like, 30 home run and 60, 60 stolen bases. Let's blow the horses there. But a 30-30 year would be pretty cool, right? He's doing things like only Shohei Ohtani and Mike Trout have done recently. So I'm not a hater. He needs to get those clutch at bats down now. Hasn't done that yet. He's still amped up. He's got that adrenaline running. So I want to see him slow that process down, step out of the box, take the breath, do the things that you got to do. Kid's 23, right? He's got time. So give it to him. But he's an all-star. The dude's legit. Pay the man. Pay him now, Ricketts. All right. And what you're going to have to pay him is nothing compared to the next dude I'm going to talk about, because back the Brinks truck up for Kyle Tucker. He is him. You need a bona fide superstar on the team. And I know they are hesitant to sign dudes, especially after the Jason Hayward signing. I get it. I would be hesitant too. Kyle Tucker ain't Jason Hayward. Kyle Tucker's not Dansby Swanson, right? I know you're hesitant, Ricketts, to give out those contracts. Man, if you want to keep the talent here and you want to be the Dodgers, you want to be the Yankees, you want to be there every year, you've got to pay the dudes. All right. Kyle Tucker is a 5-tool player. You can get 40 home runs, 30 RBIs, over 100 40 home runs, 30 stolen bases, well over 100 RBI, hitting 285, right, with gold glove outfield ability. You've got to keep him. You cannot trade away Isaac Paredes and Cam and not keep this dude, right? That looks bad. Like, if you do that, Jed, you're fired. And I'd be yelling at Ricketts like, sell the team, because that's ridiculous. You've got to do it. You've got to sign these dudes. When I look at this team, the run differential is fantastic. The problem is that being a plus, 60 plus on the run differential doesn't mean a damn thing if you can't score 8 runs a game, because your bullpen is going to go blow it up after you take the starter out. The bullpen, arguably the worst thing that this team has had in a long time. And that's worse than last year and the year before. And those were some bad bullpens. There's a reason that Presley was let to walk in Houston, that they only took some scrub, right? And they're like, we'll eat the contract. The dude cannot pitch anymore. He does not have it. Your best relievers are Daniel Palencia and Cade Horton. And even Cade Horton can get lit up. Like, I was calling since the beginning of the year for Horton to be, not Cade Horton, sorry, Porter Hodge. For Porter Hodge to be the closer. Not going to happen the way he's been pitching, man. It's just so inconsistent. The dude's got a breaking ball that looks like Carlos Mamo, right? It just flings, can throw 96, 97, and then he misses and he just starts walking guys, and then he's got to lay in a cookie and boom, changes the game, changes the outcome. Can't have that. You need to fix your bullpen. Brad Keller has been phenomenal. Love it. Keep him. Right? I like Tom Cosgrove. Bring that dude back up. Why are we flipping dudes right back and forth? Keep them. I am concerned when you hear the name Chris Flexen getting thrown out there for the bullpen. That's not good. You don't want that. I don't want that. So the Cubs, they've got a ton of work to do in the bullpen. You need, man, you're going to need three arms. You're going to need a lefty, and you're going to need two righties. And one of those righties or a lefty's got to be a closer, right? You're going to need a starter. You're going to need to go out there and get a Sandy Alcantara. You're going to need to wait until right before the trade deadline in June to see who you can bring in. Are you bringing in a Justin Verlander? Are you bringing in a Jacob DeGrom? Are you bringing in a Sandy Alcantara? Right? You're going to have to start making these decisions. And Sandy Alcantara, he's going to be wanted by a lot of teams. Right? That price tag is going to be high. And it's a good thing that the Cubs have depth in the bullpen, or not in the bullpen, in the minors, so that they can trade some of that. You're going to need to do that in order to bring in a rent-a-player. Now, Sandy Alcantara is not a rent-a-player, which is nice. I think he's still got 2 years left on the deal. So that's going to cost you probably even more. Right? You're going to have to give up like an Owen Casey. Part of the deal, right? You might have to give up a Nico Horner, who could end up out in Seattle still for like a Luis Castillo, which I'm not opposed to either. Seattle's got three legit starters. The Cubs better start shopping, right? There's a need for this team. You've got to get somebody. And for the love of all that's holy, please stop going to the Houston well. We don't need Frambar. We need nobody else. All right. Bring in Felix Bautista. Bring in somebody to help. Last I checked, there were some quality pitchers still just chilling in free agency, right? David Robertson brings a bell, been here. Yeah, he's 38. Who cares? Bring him in, right? Those dudes, they have value. Aroldis Chapman's still, 38, 39. Dude has value. Now, he's on a team, but that might be somebody that you're trying to flip for later on. Old dudes, one old dude I was happy to see sign, and now I just, hey, it's DFA time. Justin Turner, man, I'm sorry. You ain't him anymore. He doesn't have the power. He doesn't have the bat speed that he once had. It's just not there. And I don't know if that's your permanent solution. He's certainly not playing him at third base because he doesn't have the range that he did. And even when he did, he wasn't the best of third baseman in the world, right? And that is a major need for the Cubs. When your third baseman right now is, your rotational dude in John Birdie, who has been phenomenal, and Nicky Lopez, that's an issue, right? I know we started the season with Matt Shaw, and he's down in the minors, and he's doing pretty good. I would have started him down there to begin with and started Gage Workman. And I know I'm not Craig Counsell and I'm not Jed. And, Workman's now down on the south side doing his thing and not doing it very well. But the guy came out of spring training with some serious pop in the bat. And you never know. Sometimes sitting those guys immediately afterwards kind of ends that. So if it had been me, I would have started Gage. I would have kept Showdown in the minors to do his thing. But, hey, what do I know? That's why I do this. And I ain't making the millions over at the Landmark, right? Who knows? But, man, Cubs, you got some work to do. You got to sign PCA. You got to find a way to keep Kyle Tucker here. He's your 5-tool bona fide dude. He is him. He's the guy you want in the outfield doing his thing. And for the love of all that's holy, you gotta get a bullpen. You need a closer. Presley ain't him. Sorry, he ain't him. At least not now. Maybe he'll figure it out. But we're almost middle of May. Better have figured it out by now. So we need a pen. We need some stuff, right? Because we ain't gonna be able to put up eight a night And if you can't put up 8 a night and you're relying on that pen, they're not going to go very far. They'll make it to the playoffs. I still think this team, as it's constructed now, can win the division because the division is not that strong. But you're going to get your butt kicked when you get to the playoffs, right? You got to go out west and face San Diego, LA. You got to head back to New York and face the Mets. You got to go head to Philly and face that team with that pitching staff, or even the Giants who are kicking some tail, right? It's rough. So you better start figuring it out now, Jed, and have some ideas because June's right around the corner and that trade deadline is going to creep up fast. Final thing I want to talk about, because we don't talk about the Bears unless it's to make fun of them. I will talk about the Bears at some point, but not today. Right? That Ben Johnson hype can wait. One final thing I want to touch on here. The Chicago Blackhawks. My team. That was such a run. Man, watching that 2000, mid 2000 group, like 2010, 2013 group was so fun. And how that team has fallen and how the leadership since Wirtz has died has just changed fundamentally. It really hurts me as a fan, and how we've done Connor Bedard dirty. It's the same as kind of what Edmonton did up with Connor McDavid, right? I'm afraid to see Bedard leave because of how bad this team is. Right? Edmonton wasn't this bad and this dysfunctional in their first 2 seasons with a young McDavid, as I see and perceive the Blackhawks to be with Bedard. I am concerned that your young stud not only has regressed this year, which he did, but that, you know, teams start throwing that money around. It's hard to keep a dude. And I'm afraid of Bedard leaving. Why wouldn't he? Well, man, I tell you, Foligno reminds me of Marty when Marty was wearing that C when Taves and Kane were kind of learning, right? And you had Marty Lapointe doing his thing. I see the same thing in Figgy, and I hope Foligno can be the guy that's like, look, this is a franchise that wants to invest in you, that's going to do the right things. There's a lot of young talent on this team, right? They went out. I think Spencer Knight was the steal at the trade deadline. What a move, right? You got rid of a horrible defensive contract. Right? This is like the one thing I can say I like that Kyle Davidson did. You got rid of a horrible contract and you were able to bring in a stud in goal. Terrific move. You've got Drew Camesso lighting it up down in the AHL. Bring him up. Let him learn, man. It's time. Next year's got to be the year where he's your number 2, right? And eventually, hopefully, you've got Spencer and Drew fighting it out to be your goalie. The same way you had it with like Crawford and Antti Ranta and Antti Niemi right back in the day. It's time. Let that fight happen. You've got some young studs at defense, although I'm not sold on Vlasic, and he's already got his money. All right. Dude reminds me of Daze, afraid to throw the weight around, which is just unfortunate because, man, when you built like Zdeno Chara, throw your body around, my man. But they've got talent. They've got young players. They need them to progress, right? Kurchev, absolutely horrible. Cannot believe how bad that dude was this year. Lucas Reichel, cannot believe how bad that dude was this year. Is it because we have Anders Sorensen as a coach instead of a real coach? Right? These guys haven't had a real NHL level coach, right? They're playing dump and chase. They're playing basic zone defense, right? They're not doing anything special. They're not learning anything special when you're playing AHL style hockey at the pro level. That's why they'll go up 3-1 in a game. Third period, teams make adjustments. You're losing 5-3 because you're being outcoached. You're being outplayed. The fact that the Hawks did not aggressively go out and try to sign Montgomery when he was available angers me. You need a real coach. There's a couple out there right now, real NHL leading coaches, guys that have the experience, guys like a Torch, right? Go out and get them. Do something positive. Show your youngster, show Bedard, we are invested in this because right now it doesn't look like that. Doesn't look like that. You need to sign and hire the right coach. You had Savoir-Faire, you had Dennis Savard back then, right? He was the mentor, the dude leading the guys, trying to show them what to do. And the second that they knew that it was time, they clicked in like, okay, Joel Quenneville, get in here. You got to do the same thing here. Except now is the time when you go out and you sign Joe Quenneville. You hire a Joe Quenneville. That style of guy. The Hawks need to do that. They need a guy that can lead them and help them. You're picking number 3 in the draft. There are a lot of options. You need another center, right? If Khrushchev is gone, you're going to need another center. You're going to need a right wing. You're going to need something to complement Bedard, right? You're going to need something to complement along with that top line. And whatever that top line configuration is, you need to figure out the draft. You need to figure out the coach, right? And it comes down to the same thing. You can't figure it out. Davidson, man, I think your time is up as a GM. Just being honest, right? Like you made one intelligent move, but man, like everything else, like the Bertuzzi signing, just all of these, they're just not working. Whatever it is, it's not working, right? You brought in a ton of veteran defense to help you out, and you had a coach that was playing AHL style stuff, and those vets quit on you, right? Alec Martinez is like, this is stupid, I'm out. Check. He even retired, which I think he was planning on doing anyways, right? Along with Patty Maroon, which, God, what a story that was. It's so cool seeing him. Again, like Foligno, lead by example, lead through, um, lead through the game. It was really fun to watch. And I hope Patty Maroon decides to become a coach somewhere because I think he would be a great coach. Same thing with Foligno. When Foligno's done, I hope he decides to become a coach. But the Hawks, man, you got to do something. You got to show Bedard that you're ready and that you want this. You want this team to be successful. This team has to make the playoffs this year. You have to. Right? If you don't make the playoffs this year in Bedard's 3rd season as that rookie contract is expiring, this is an epic failure, right? Not okay. And if I'm a Chicago fan, which I am, but if I'm a Chicago fan, I'm starting to boycott a little bit, right? My homie getting hurt. My home heart hurts. So you better start figuring some of this stuff out. I hope, for the sake of the Hawks, that they do. Same thing with the Bulls, right? The Bulls are like stuck in that limbo spot. I feel like the Hawks are kind of in that same place. Like we can be good, but we're not. It's the same thing. They're not the Sox. They're not the utter disgrace that is let's sell everybody and let's not trade Luis Robert when we can, right? It's tough. I see the Sox going to like Nashville. I see the Sox going to Portland, right? What the hell is Portland doing building a $1.3 billion baseball stadium? We'll see. Anyways, that's all we've got this week for the Chicago edition. And next week, I want to bring in some football. Hopefully, Noah will be back. Noah moved down to Florida. He is now a resident of Jacksonville, Florida. So we'll hopefully get to hear about his first week down there. If not next week, I'll go solo again, or I'll bring in a guest. We'll see what happens. And I want to talk some football. I want to see what goes on. Right, the schedule releases this week, and if there's one thing that the NFL knows how to do, they know how to be a 365 league. Right? We shouldn't even be thinking about football right now, and everybody's talking about the schedule release like we don't already know who the teams are that are playing each other. We just don't know when and where. Ridiculous. But that's next week. Hope y'all enjoyed. Catch a listen, give us a like, do the things that you got to do, follow us. And until next time, we'll talk to you later. See ya.